8 seconds. Yes, you heard that right. The average attention span of today's generation is 8 seconds. Seems that of a goldfish. But how is this possible? In a world where we're consistently bombarded with notifications, videos, and social media, it's no wonder our attention spans are shrinking. The digital revolution has fundamentally transformed how we interact with the world. Over the past 2 decades, we've seen the rise of social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, along with streaming services like Netflix, YouTube, and Twitch. These platforms have become an integral part of our daily lives for billions of people, providing not just entertainment but a sense of connection and community. But behind the scenes is a sophisticated science dedicated to capturing and retaining your attention. These companies operate in what's often referred to as the attention economy, but the most valuable currency is your focus and time. Their success depends on how long they can keep you engaged. To achieve this, they've developed and perfected several techniques, each meticulously designed to tap into your psychological and emotional triggers. One of the most powerful techniques is infinite scrolling, where content continuously loads as you swipe or scroll. This design mimics the experience of pulling the lever on a slot machine. Each swipe brings a possibility of a new, exciting content. The absence of a stopping point means there's never a natural place to disengage, leading users to spend more of their time on these platforms than they initially intended to. The idea is to create a frictionless experience where users keep scrolling, often losing track of time. Another technique is personalized content, which uses complex algorithms to analyze your behavior, what you like, share, comment on, or watch several times, can curate a feed that is uniquely tailored to you. This keeps users in a loop of content that they find interesting, satisfying, or validating, reducing the likelihood that they will get bored or leave the platform. The better the algorithm understands you. Furthermore, fine tuning the content to align to your preferences, interests, and even emotions at any given time. Then there's the concept of instant gratification loops, which are particularly prevalent in social media and gaming. Notification, likes, shares, and comments provide immediate feedback to your actions, triggering a dopamine release in your brain, the same chemical that makes activities like gambling and drugs use so that every like or comment you receive gives you a quick hint of pleasure, encouraging you to keep posting, engaging, and refreshing your feed to seek the next dopamine hit. In games, this manifests as quick rewards, achievements, or level ups, which keeps players hooked by consistently rewarding them for their engagement. These small, frequent rewards make it difficult for users to put down their devices because they're conditioned to seek out the next reward. Additionally, these platforms exploit the fear of missing out, also known as FOMO. The constant stream of updates, stories, and content from friends, celebrities, and influencers create a sense of urgency and anxiety. Users feel compelled to check their devices frequently to stay in the loop, lest they miss something important or exciting. This perpetual state of connectedness feeds into the shorter attention spans as users are conditioned to check their devices for updates every few minutes. Streaming services have mastered the use of autoplay and personalized recommendations. Autoplay ensures that as soon as one episode or video ends, another begins, leaving little room for conscious decision to stop watching. This feature is coupled with recommendations based on your viewing history, ensuring that the next video is something you're going to enjoy, making it harder to resist watching just one more episode. The result? Binge watching becomes the norm, and hours slip away unnoticed. These techniques aren't just effective, they're transformative. They reshape our brains to expect and crave constant stimulation, making it difficult for us to focus on tasks that require sustained attention. This relentless assault on our attention has contributed to the decline in our ability to concentrate for long periods of time, leading to shorter attention spans. Over time, these habits can lead to a diminished capacity for deep work, creativity, and meaningful engagement in the world around us. The constant need for validation through likes and comments have fostered a culture of superficiality, where quick rewards are prioritized over deep, meaningful interactions. Our ability to enjoy and engage in these activities that require patience and focus, such as reading a book, having a long conversation, or simply sitting in silence, has been eroded. But just imagine stepping back in time, a century or so ago, to an era without smartphones, social media, or the internet. Life moved at a slower pace, and daily activities were vastly different from what we expect today. In this world, people spent much more of their time outdoors, working the land, or simply enjoying the natural surroundings. Evenings were filled with the warmth of family gatherings, conversation, and shared meals rather than the glow of screens. People lived in the present moment, fully engaged in their surroundings. Time wasn't measured by the number of notifications received or the next social media update, but by the rising and setting of the sun, the changing seasons, and the rhythm of daily life. Tasks were completed with patience and attention to detail, whether it was tending to crops, crafting goods, preparing a meal. The focus wasn't on multitasking, but on doing one thing at a time and doing it well. The family unit was a nucleus of society, with multi-generational households common. Evenings were often spent around the fireplace where stories were told, books were read aloud, and discussions ranged from the mundane to philosophical. These were not hurried exchanges, but deep, meaningful conversations that could last for hours, allowing for the exchange of ideas and strengthening of family bonds. Children learned from their parents and grandparents, not just through instruction, but by observation and how they interacted with the world. Patience, focus, and attention to detail were virtues taught, for example. Games and activities were interactive, often educational, from board games to puzzles to outdoor sports and crafts. These activities required concentration and fostered creativity and problem solving skills, skills that are harder to cultivate in today's fast paced digital world. Books were a primary source of entertainment and knowledge. Reading was not just a hobby, but a cherished activity that allowed people to dive into the world of imagination, history, and philosophy. People could spend hours engrossed in a single book, their minds fully absorbed in the narrative without the distraction of pinging notifications or the lure of endless scrolling. This culture of reading nurtured longer attention spans, the ability to concentrate on a single task, such as reading a novel or working X problem, was not just common but expected. It was a time when people wrote letters, taking the time to craft their thoughts into words carefully, and waited days or even weeks for reply. The act of communication itself required patience and focus. It's clear that activities and lifestyle from the past required and fostered a longer attention span. People were accustomed to focusing on tasks for an extended period of time, whether it was reading a book, crafting an item by hand, or engaging in lengthy conversations. There was a rhythm to life that encouraged deep thought and contemplation, stark contrast to the constant interruptions and distractions of today's world. As we move from the simplicity of the past to the complexity of the present, many of the practices that once helped people cultivate deep focus and attention were greatly replaced by faster, more convenient forms of engagement. The invention of the radio, followed by television, began to change how people consumed information and entertainment. These technologies introduced the concept of passive consumption, where content was delivered in bite sized pieces, requiring less cognitive effort to engage. Over time, as technology advanced, the pace of life quickened. The introduction of the internet and later smartphones brought about the unprecedented shift, creating a world where information and entertainment were available at our fingertips 24/7. While these innovations have brought by many benefits, they've also contributed to the erosion of our ability to concentrate for long periods of time and to engage deeply in the world around us. One of the most alarming consequences of the digital age's relentless demand for our attention is the impact on cognitive abilities. The brain is a highly adaptable organ, constantly rewiring itself based on our habits and behaviors, a concept known as neuroplasticity. When we spend our days jumping from one piece of content to the next, our brains adapt to this mode of operation. Instead of building the neural pathways necessary for deep, focused thinking, we train our minds to move from one stimulus to another, leading to a decrease in our ability to concentrate. Studies have shown that constant exposure to digital stimuli, such as notifications, pop ups, and rapid content consumption, can lead to a reduction in gray matter in the area of our brain associated with cognitive control decision making, and attention span. This decline affects our ability to process information critically, solving complex problems, and engage in tasks that require sustained mental effort. In essence, we're losing the ability to think deeply and critically, skills that are essential for creativity, innovation, and learning. Perhaps the most well known consequence of our digital habits is a dramatic reduction in attention spans. As mentioned earlier, the average human attention span has decreased to just 8 seconds, shorter than that of a goldfish. This is a direct result of the constant barrage of information we receive and the expectation for immediate gratification that the digital platforms foster. With our attention span shortened, it becomes increasingly difficult to engage in activities that require prolonged focus. This can lead to a surface level engagement with the world, where we skim through information rather than truly absorbing and understanding it. The ability to focus also impacts our productivity, making it harder to complete tasks efficiently or to achieve a state of flow where we're fully immersed and engaged in what we're doing. The need for constant validation through likes, share, and comments create a cycle of dependency where our self-worth becomes tied to the external approval. This can lead to an unhealthy obsession with social media where we spend hours crafting the perfect post or refreshing our feeds to see how many likes we're receiving. Over time, this can erode our sense of self and lead to a constant state of anxiety as we're seeking the next hit of validation. The digital world also fosters a culture of impatience and instant gratification, where we've become accustomed to getting what we want immediately, whether it's information, entertainment, or social interaction. This expectation for instant results can lead to frustration and stress when things don't happen as we'd like in other areas of life, such as work, relationships, personal growth. The ability to delay gratification, a skill that is crucial for long-term success and happiness, is being undermined by the constant demand for immediate rewards. Our decreasing attention spans. In the past, social interactions were face to face, requiring us to engage fully with the people around us. However, today, much of our socializing happens online, but conversations are often brief, shallow, and distracted. This had led to a decline in the quality of our relationships and our ability to communicate efficiently. In person conversations require us to listen, interpret nonverbal cues, and respond thoughtfully, skills that are becoming less common as we spend more time interacting through screens. The rise of text messaging, social media, and video calls has made it easier to stay connected, but these forms of communication often lack the depth and richness of face to face interactions. The ease of connecting with others online has led to a culture of disposable relationships where people are quick to move on if a connection isn't immediately gratifying. This can lead to feelings of isolation and loneliness, even when we're surrounded by hundreds or thousands of friends or followers online. While the challenges are real, so are the solutions. By understanding the forces at play, we can take back control of our attention and our lives. We can choose to be mindful in our use of technology to engage in activities that nourish our minds and to foster connections that are deep and meaningful. The power to change lives is in our hands. I urge you to take a moment to consider the impact that your digital habits have on your life. Ask yourself, is this the life I want to live? A life dictated by distractions and driven by the next notification? Or do you yearn for something more? A life of focus, purpose, fulfillment?